page 4, sorry, page 3. And Tuesday, great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And Tuesday, great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And Tuesday, great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice, giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice, giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanjo pado dane gyabsoch tage jinso gebe sonam ge chola benjebe sanje dubare shom. Sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanjo pado dane gyabsoch tage jinso gebe sonam ge Roba benjere sanje dubare sho sanje joda zo chanjo bado dane gyabso che dage jinso kebe sonamge roba benjere sanje dubare sho Om ye dharma to prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashamanaye svaha Om ye dharma to prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashamanaye svaha Om ye dharma to prabhavam hetum te sham dathagato yavatat te sham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashamanaye svaha All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes were taught by the great seer. Okay, page 187, Song of the Stages of the Path of Enlightenment. This is what is known as the practice. Initially, not initially, of course, all these Buddhist teachings, they were all initially taught by the Buddha himself. And later, this set of the genre of the teaching known as the Lamrim. It was you can hear. Oh, okay. What do you have? Okay, this one.
Venerable Geshe, on the first pages, page 3 and page 4, that's what we had, and then we can read.
Okay, that's good. Page 50, in praise of dependent origination. Page 50. Okay. In Russian, page 50. In English, anyone? 187? 10? Okay. The new version 104. New version 104. And the old version, in praise of dependent origination. In praise of dependent origination, Gendli Sauramase. Joshua, would you mind? Gendli in praise of dependent origination. Short and 104. Gendli. Oh, Kardo, in praise of Rida. In praise of dependent Odare. Okay. So the this one, I'd like to quickly share the this one is extremely important, and to give you the background of this composition was that the Lama Tsongkhapa, he was going through extensive studies, reflection, meditation on emptiness. Then at one point, he was feeling that he was getting some experience of emptiness, but he wanted to double check it if that is an accurate understanding of emptiness. So that time, there was another teacher, but that time Lama Tsongkhapa did not have the direct vision of Arya Manjushri. He did not have. And there was another teacher by the name Lama Umapa. And Lama Umapa and Lama Tsongkhapa, they were two of them are like mutual students, mutual teachers. They received teaching from each other. But Lama Umapa, he was having the vision of Arya Manjushri. He can communicate, he can receive teachings from Arya Manjushri directly. So Lama Tsongkhapa made a request to Lama Umapa, please inform this to Arya Manjushri whether or not my understanding of emptiness is correct. So these are all the messages for us that at times we the ordinary people, you study emptiness and then very quickly we get the feeling that understood emptiness. So whereas these great masters who was already renowned all over Tibet and so many students, still he was double checking, not so quickly making this the conclusion that I realize emptiness. So he was double checking with his the Lama Umapa to check it from Arya Manjushri. Then Lama Umapa informed this Arya Manjushri, and then Arya Manjushri responded that your understanding of emptiness is not yet complete. But if you put effort in 3 points, very soon you will uncover, you will realize emptiness very soon. And the factors. First one, to subjugate, to make supplication to your teacher as inseparable one with the deity, number one. Deity meaning full Buddha. And number two, to study the treatises on emptiness composed by the authentic, authoritative masters, Indian masters like Arya Nagarjuna, Bodhicitta Deva, the Acharya Bhuttapalita, Acharya Chandrakriti, Bodhicitta Deva. You study this text written by those masters. Number two. Number three, you need to engage in heavy accumulation of merit by offering mandala And first of all, knowing the mechanism of how the merit works. Once you know that, then engage in the accumulation of merit by offering mandala, making prostrations, and so forth. And if these three things are intact with you, you'll realize emptiness very soon. And for that purpose, you have to go for solitary practice. This was advice came from Aravind Jushri. Then Lama Tsongkhapa decided to leave for solitary practice, solitary retreat. And then all discussions were going in the whole city that if Lama Tsongkhapa was go to solitary retreat, then who will take care of all the people who are dependent on him for spiritual journey? So all these discussions were going there. And Lama Tsongkhapa, yes, indeed. At the moment we look at Lama Tsongkhapa there, you see the robes so elegant, but in reality, when he was alive, it was not that elegant. Meaning that even he hardly had even food to sustain himself. For example, today we have I saw somewhere, mandala set. Here, mandalas we offer the mandala. Mandala set is there. Now we have elegant mandala sets made of silver, gold, then embedded with, with the gems and so forth. But Lama Tsongkhapa did not have even a proper mandala set. He was such a renowned teacher, renowned master all over Tibet. But he did not have that. He used a stone slab for the mandala base. And he was offering mandala, you clean the surface of the mandala set with the base of your hand. This of the fist. This, and then he's rubbing his delicate skin to the stone hundreds of thousands of times, and it was bleeding. The hand was bleeding. So this was the amount of the effort put by this great teacher, already accomplished teacher. And so one day, so even this stone is believed that it's still there in Tibet. So these are the inspirations, not that it will bless me. No, the real blessing is to see that this stone is the one used by the amazing enlightened master to accumulate merit, rubbing his very delicate hand against this rough stone 100,000 times and bleeding, blisters, bleeding. And this is the amount of the merit, the effort that he put in to hardship that he went through to accumulate merit, to realize emptiness. Whereas emptiness does not happen easily. We study, I'm talking about realization. Intellectual understanding and realization is two different. For the realization, generally for 98% of the people, the realization must be preceded by intellectual understanding. Then the realization will happen. So whereas for some rare beings like just Milarepa, the great teacher, for them, they already studied these things from the past life. So now they are ready for the realization to arise. They are ready for that. But even he, just Milarepa, for him to realize this emptiness and so forth, say he had really went through all the hardships in his life to go through this journey of realizing emptiness. It's not that easy for us. I just studied for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you think about it, and you get some idea, I realize emptiness. This is, in a way, like self-deception. In a way, like, say, creating a dead end to yourself, beyond which you will not put effort. Okay, I already realize. The moment you think that I realize it, there's a dead end. Then you will not put effort beyond this. If you don't put beyond this, there are all the real wonders. The real wonders, emptiness, or the wisdom emptiness, to waiting for you. And you already said This is, you have already set a barricade saying that dead and unrealized emptiness finish. You'll go not beyond. So finally what happened was that after all these, he did it for about like 11 months. 11 months. And one night he had a dream. And the dream had it that Arimanjushri, Nagarjuna, the main master who the Buddha made the prophecy of their coming to being at the time of the Buddha, at the time when the Buddha was alive, that Arimanjushri was there, and Arimanjushri was surrounded by all the other Madhyamika masters, like Bodhicitta Arideva, Arimanjushri's chief disciple, then the Acharya Bhuttapalita, Acharya Chandrakriti, and all these Madhyamika masters were around Arinagarjuna. This was a dream. And in the dream, there was one monk scholar from amongst these scholars. One came down towards Lama Tsongkhapa and handed over a book, a scripture, to Lama Tsongkhapa. And Lama Tsongkhapa had the memory that this monk was coming down, the master coming down was Acharya Bhuttapalita. Acharya Bhuttapalita, who wrote a commentary on Arinagarjuna's text. Then the next day, Lama Tsongkhapa had a visitor, and a visitor brought a scripture, the book, scripture, which was actually scripture on emptiness, composed by Acharya Bhuttapalita, who came in the dream. That was the book. And he just flipped through the pages because he's so familiar with the text already. He studied all these things. And number one, he himself is like Arimanjushri. And then flipping through this, suddenly he came across one line which identified the object negation emptiness, and that the emptiness of this is the absence of this is the selflessness. This is the meaning of the emptiness. So seeing this, suddenly had the realization just popped up. So this is, and then he composed this text, in praise of dependent origination. This was composed after that experience. So if you read it, you see that particularly after studying emptiness, dependent origination for quite some time, then you read this, you see that this is richly decorated with the richly, say, the fabric of intellectual rigor there. At the same time, experiential exposition, as you can find in here. It's very experiential. Meanwhile, the academic rigor is not compromised. This is a combination of the two, experiential realization and the academic rigor, both intertwined. So now that we have the introduction to emptiness, we read this, it makes some sense to us. Beginning by, what's the purpose of realizing why we have to study, reflect, meditate on emptiness. And this morning, my friend Geshe, when he came to my room, we were having some chat, and then I think about last year, this year, I don't know, he had an audience with His Holiness. And then the moment he saw His Holiness, he couldn't control his tears, and out of joy, out of something coming to his mind. And then he just, some prayers came from his mouth, and then His Holiness said, come, and held him so tightly to His Holiness. And then then His Holiness said, you have to practice Bodhicitta. And then His Holiness said, study, study, study. This is what he quoted, His Holiness. Study, study, study. His Holiness, today, if you really want to go for some Lama with a big name, there's nothing bigger than His Holiness. You're getting it? And if you really want to know the real Dharma, there's no better the exposition and better advice on the real Dharma than the advice coming from His Holiness Dalai Lama. So, if you are looking for name and fame, His Holiness is biggest. If you are really for the real, looking for the real dharma, His Holiness is best. So, don't be deviated. Don't be deviated. You're getting it? What I'm saying is that usually, particularly for the newcomers, what I say is always the best thing is don't waste your life. Don't waste your life. Don't waste time. Going here, there, hopping. And then you end up, and then meanwhile your white hair keeps increasing. For example, me, when I first met the Bandela, my hair was completely dark, black. So now age is aging. White hair is coming here, there. You're getting it. What I'm saying is that the time will not wait. So just keep hoping like this, thinking that, say, grab His Holiness. This is the best thing. Grab His, just keep looking at the advance of His Holiness. And then if you are under the rudder of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you will never be deviated. You know what is the real dharma, what's the real purpose, what can really give you the purpose of life. So that should be the main preamble of your life, His Holiness's advice. Main preamble of the life, and then we can have your own teachers, Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition. It's fine, no problem. Sakya, Kagyu, Nyingma, any fine. The main structure of your life should be designed on the basis of His Holiness's advice. Then you will not be deviated. What Gambabari Buche advice, the four advice. May my mind be directed towards that dharma. May my dharma never meet with obstacles. May the path may not face with the flaws. And the two issues, may this, even the flaws be manifested in the form of exalted wisdom. So this, as the Gambabari Buddha said, that finally this is the dharma. The real dharma, comprehensive dharma. Once you get it, then you can go anywhere. Whatever tradition that you follow is fine, perfect. You have your own teachers, follow those teachers. Meanwhile, the basic structure you should not miss. And if you come across the teachers whose teachings are in line with His Holiness's basic structure, you are on the proper track. Somehow, if something is missing, be very careful. What His Holiness's structure that His Holiness creates, this is the Nalanda's way of presenting the dharma. If you miss that part, then you are missing somewhere. You are missing somewhere. And the purpose of your life perhaps can be deviated. So, being in the rudder, being in the envelope of His Holiness's guidance or advice, then you can go to any tradition. Very kind people, learned people, not only in one tradition, is everywhere. You can go to any tradition, that's not a problem. So finally, each one of us, you, me, each one of us, let us not waste a life. Sometimes we can waste our life too much. Digging too many wells, you'll not get water. Digging too many wells, you'll not get water. So if possible, try to get the master key. If possible, try to get the master key. With the master key, you can open all the doors. You're getting it? This is very important. Okay, with this mind, let's recite this. Page 1. Anyone? 104. Okay. Let's read this slowly, not too fast. In Praise of Dependent Origination by Lama Tsongkhapa, he who speaks on the basis of seeing, this makes him an over and teacher unexcelled. I bow to you, O conqueror, you who sought dependent origination and taught it. Whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. You taught that it is dependent origination, the seeing of which will undo this ignorance. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is an essential point of your teaching? This being so, who will find, O Savior, A more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependence. Whatsoever depends on conditions, that is devoid of intrinsic existence. What excellent instruction can there be more amazing than this proclamation? By grasping at it, the child is strengthened bondage to extreme views. For the wise, this very fact is the doorway to cut free from the net of elaborations. Since this teaching is not seen elsewhere, you alone are the teacher. Like calling a fox a lion, for a Tirthika, it would be a word of flattery. Wondrous teacher, wondrous refuge, wondrous speaker, wondrous savior, I pay homage to that teacher who taught well dependent origination. To help heal sentient beings, O benefactor, you have taught the peerless reason to ascertain emptiness, the heart of the teaching. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory or as unestablished, how can they comprehend your system? For you, when one sees emptiness in terms of the domain of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing various function do not contradict. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, no emptiness of what has function, one falls into a dreadful abyss, you maintain. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is hailed, that too not as an utter non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. The non-contingent is like a scarlet flower, as there is nothing that is not dependent. If things exist through their essence, their dependence on cause and conditions for their existence is a contradiction. Therefore, since no phenomenon exists other than origination through dependence, no phenomenon exists other than being devoid of intrinsic existence, you're taught. Because intrinsic nature cannot be negated, if phenomena did possess some intrinsic nature, nirvana would become impossible. An elaboration could not be ceased, you taught. Therefore, who could challenge you? You who proclaim the lion's roar in the assembly of the learned ones repeatedly that everything is utterly free of intrinsic nature, that there is no intrinsic existence at all, and that all function as this arising and depends on that, what need is there to say that these two converge without conflict? It is through the reason of dependent origination that one does not lean towards the extreme, that you, the Savior, have declared this excellently is the source of your unexcelled speech. All of this is devoid of essence, and from this arises that effect. These two certainties complement each other with no contradiction at all. What is more amazing than this, what is more marvelous than this, if one praises you in this manner, this is real place, otherwise not. Being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you, what is so astonishing about their being unable to bear the sound of no intrinsic existence? But having accepted dependent origination, the precious treasure of your speech, the not tolerating the role of emptiness, this I find amazing indeed. The door that leads to no intrinsic existence, this uncycled door of dependent origination, through its name alone, if one grasps the true intrinsic existence, now this person who lacks their unrivaled entrance, well traveled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide him to the excellent path that pleases you? Intrinsic nature, uncreated and non-contingent, dependent origination, contingent and created, how can these two converge upon a single basis without contradictions? Therefore, whatever originates dependent, though primordially free of intrinsic existence, appears as if it does possess intrinsic existence. So you taught all this to be illusion-like. Through this very fact, I understand well the statement that in what you have taught, those opponents who challenge you cannot find faults that accord with reasons. Why is this so? Because by declaring these, chances for reification and denigration towards things seen and unseen are made most remote. Through this very path of dependent origination, the rationale for your speech being peerless, conviction arises in me also. There are other words also valid too. You who speak excellently by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase evermore as it being called for they make firm the way of self. Aha, when a wise comprehend the differences between these two, why would they not at that point reveal you from the depths of their being, let alone your numerous teachings, even in the meaning of a small part, those who find ascertainment in a cursory way, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance, though I have sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence. I possessed not a fraction of his qualities. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing towards death has come to a cease, that I have found slight faith in you, even this I think is fortunate. Among teachers, the teacher of dependent origination, amongst wisdom, the knowledge of dependent origination, you who are the most excellent like the kings of the world, know this perfectly well, not others. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination, that too is done for the sake of nirvana. You have no deeds that do not bring peace. How amazing your teaching is such, in whomsoever's ears it falls, they all attain peace. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? It overcomes all opposing challenges. It is free from contradictions between the early and the latter paths. It grants fulfillment of being's true aims. For this system, my joy increases evermore. For its sake, you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, at others your life, as well as your loving kin and resources of wealth. Seeing the qualities of this teaching puts heart at your feet, at your heart, just like what a hook does to a fish. Sad it is not to have heard it from you. Intensity of that sorrow does not let go of my mind, just like the mind of a mother constantly goes over her dear child. Here too, as I reflect on your words, I think, blazing with the glory of noble marks and hallowed in a net of light rays, this teacher, in rose pristine melody, spoke thus in such a way. Instant such a reflection of the sage's form appears in my mind, it soothes me, just as the moonbeams heal a fever's pain. This excellent system, most marvelous, some individuals who are not so learned have entangled it in utter confusion, just like the tangled balbaza grass. Seeing this situation, I strove with a multitude of efforts to follow after the learned ones, and sought your intention again and again. At such times as I studied the numerous works of both our own middle way and other schools, my mind became tormented evermore, constantly by a network of doubts. The night lily grove of Nagarjuna's treatise says, Nagarjuna, whom you prophesied, would unravel your unaccepted vehicle as it is, shedding extremes of existence and non-existence, illuminated by the garland of white lights of Chandra's well-uttered insights, Chandra, whose stainless wisdom orb is full, who glides freely across scripture's space, who dispels the darkness of extremist hearts and outshines the constellations of all speakers. When through my teacher's kindness I sought this, my mind found rest at last. Of all of these, your speech is supreme. Within that too, it is this very speech. So the wise should remember the Buddha through this teaching of dependent origination. Following such a teacher, and having become renunciate, having studied the conqueror's verse not too poorly, this monk, who strives in the yogic practices, such is the depth of his reverence to the great seer. Since it is due to my teacher's kindness, I have met with the teaching of the unexcelled teacher. I dedicate this virtue too towards the cause, for all beings to be sustained by sublime spiritual mentors. May the teaching of this beneficial one till the world's end be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be met by innumerable beings who find conviction in the teacher by understanding the teaching's true nature. May I never falter, even for an instant, to uphold this excellent way of the sage, which illuminates the principle of dependent origination through all my births, even giving away my body and life. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can I enhance this teaching, achieved by the Supreme Savior, through strenuous efforts of countless eons. As I strive in this with your pure intention, may Brahma, Indra, and the world's guardians and protectors such as Mahakala unswervingly always assist me. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about the Bodhicitta, the two methods. The second method, which is Joshua. Thank you. The method of equalizing exchange yourself for others to generate bodhicitta, which has how many steps? 9 steps. I hope all of us have the 9 steps on our fingertips, one by one, starting from our youngest one. Here, 1, 2, 3. Ready? All of you ready? Geshe ready? 9 steps ready? One by one. Huh? Devika ready? Yes, ready. Okay, Devika, tell me, what are the 9? Okay, let's listen to Devika ji. Huh?
Thank you, Geshe. Equalizing self with others, reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself with emphasis on loving kindness. Emphasis on
Okay, before give anyone else. Okay, Chelsea.
Thank you.
It's a matter of time. We all have to say this, and all of us. It's a matter of time. Who comes first? It's just a matter of time. Be ready, all of you. Yes,
Thank you,
Chelsea.
Geshe. Equalizing self and others.
Very good.
Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself.
Wonderful.
Reflecting on the merits of cherishing others.
Very good.
Taking the suffering of others with an emphasis on compassion.
Very good.
Giving happiness to others with emphasis on love and kindness.
Very good.
Actual exchange of self and others.
Very good.
Special recollection of the kindness of others.
Very good.
Altruism and Bodhicitta.
Okay. Don't clap. Let's see. I'm just wondering, Leon, did she put a sheet on Venerable Tenzo's back? She's reading from the back. Huh? How she's saying so fluently. She's saying so fluently. It must be written there. I see. So it's not reading. Many congratulations. Yeah, okay, now clap. I was a little doubtful. She must have attached behind and reading from the SO like reading saying by heart. Actually said by heart. Many congratulations. Amazing, amazing. This is how we become perfect. Take the steps. Leave no stones unturned. This is how we perfect. Thank you. Okay. So the first step, equalizing self and others. What we said is that the same for information, that the Bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness, the two wings of the bird to cross the ocean of samsara. For that matter, the great masters, I did mention this to you earlier, now you will understand it more deeply. Emptiness and Bodhicitta. Emptiness requires extensive studies. Without extensive studies, you will not even get the intellectual understanding, proper, accurate, the intellectual understanding of it without extensive studies. Extensive studies, contemplation, extensive studies, contemplation is required. Once you have the complete picture of emptiness, then the realization will come very quickly. This is what the great masters say. For the Bodhicitta, on the contrary, for Bodhicitta, okay, Momo, what happened? You moved. Huh? Do you feel more comfortable with Marika? No, here, Marika, here. Very good, thank you, thank you. I'm talking to Marika here, the lady Marika. Your name? Marika, yes. So the Momo feels comfortable with you. Okay. So what I'm saying is that for the Bodhicitta, to get intellectual understanding what it is, The great master says that it's very easy. You can learn about Bodhicitta to get a basic understanding of what a Bodhicitta is. You study for like 2-3 days. That's good enough. But to get the full understanding, the nuances, you have to study extensively. You can study so that you keep growing, gate. You keep growing in your Bodhicitta feeling. For example, some people, for small things, it'll agitate. It seems as though the whole world is collapsing. For some people, whole world is collapsing, still the mind is extremely strong for sentient beings. We all have that capacity. The only thing is that we need to learn how to manifest this very courageous mind. So the point is to experience Bodhicitta. The great master says that it takes long time. So it's a matter of time. So therefore we have no time to lose. So sometimes we study Bodhicitta, we study emptiness, and then we study all these practices complete, and still you think that I'm missing something. This is where we are going wrong. Same, if Bodhicitta, if you keep practicing this, it is like a magnet which attracts everything around. All the good qualities will be attracted by the Bodhicitta. Even that is good enough for a life. It's going to be a lifelong practice. So this is what we need to keep in mind. With this mind, but we have to keep in mind that these steps are required, all the steps, plus the personal anecdotes from your life, where what you have encountered with, you have seen somebody, you have read somewhere, all these things you bring in your meditation. This is all analytical meditation. Okay, so what we said is that the main reasons, and then you have to add, to make it more alive, to make it more living, you have to add the anecdotes, real anecdotes, not the stories. The real anecdotes, not the fabricated stories, not fictitious stories, the real anecdotes which actually happened. This will inspire us to generate bodhicitta. Okay, so the facts, we'll learn the facts, and alongside to give some idea as to how to enrich these factual meditation or meditation with facts. I share some anecdotes here and there. So first one is that equalizing self and others, we have a very selfish thinking that I'm more important than you. That's selfish thinking, and that has to be, first of all, make it a little soft by seeing that no, you are not more important than others. You and others, we are all equal. In what way we are equal? Facts. 3 facts. One, that just as I want happiness, others also want happiness. We're equal in wanting happiness. It's not that I want more happiness than others didn't want happiness. No, we are all same in wanting happiness. We're all equal in wanting happiness. Number 2, we're equal in not wanting suffering. Number 2. And number 3, we all have the capacity to become Buddhas. It's not that I have the capacity to become Buddha and you are inferior. No, we're all same. We're all equal in having these 3 qualities. And these three attributes, the factors. And also that they say it's a matter of opportunity. It's a matter of opportunity. It's not that, for example, say for example, I speak English, to have been trained in the monastic tradition, and then also having the access to English language. It's a matter of opportunity. It's not that I'm great and other monk scholars, they don't have, they are inferior. No, it's a matter of opportunity. If I did not get opportunity, they get opportunity, then they'll be there. And I will not be in a position to communicate with you. So it's just a matter of opportunity. For example, say there are two sisters or 2 brothers who are intellectually both extremely brilliant, both equally brilliant. Somehow one got the opportunity to get modern education, then eventually go to extremely reputed universities, and the other one didn't get the opportunity, still chasing after the cows for the next 20 years. But after 20 years, when they reach like 30s, when they meet, the two sisters, two brothers meet, then the one who went to who got the opportunity will become the leader of the world, the leader of the nation. But this other one is just the shepherd, still the shepherd. It's not that the one who is now leading that is greater than the one who is the shepherd. It's the opportunities. So, but the opportunities, when the opportunity is there, even what we see as a beggar lying, when you go to the Rajgir, they might have even greater capacity to shine more than what we do. So it's a matter of opportunity. From thinking of these, we see that we are left with no room for ego. And say the Bodhicitta compassion practice, for this we need to put two efforts. One is to gather the conducive factors for bodhicitta, to gather conducive factors to generate bodhicitta. And on the other hand, we need to curtail, we need to mitigate the power of the discordant factors, non-conducive factors like ego, anger, and so forth. So we need to work on these two side by side. So with this mind, with these three reasons, and then you embellish this with the anecdotes of the stories that I shared with you yesterday. The great teacher, and whose attendants, they were there to pave the way for the teacher to get a seat on the train, and the teacher asking that all the other co-passengers, they're also co-passengers, they're also going the same way, they also want a better seat. And then the teacher was standing, not getting a seat, but the teacher is very happy. Very happy. This is the real Dhamma practice in action. So this is what we need to do, embellish these experiences and these teachings with the experiences that you've heard, that you've seen, that you've read. Okay, this is the first point, that we are all equal. We are all equal, not that I'm superior. By no means, there's no reason why I'm more superior. There's no reason. We are all equal. And then see, if you really succeed in this practice, every day you think about it, I'm equal with others, we're all equal, by no means I'm special, by no means I'm different, by no means I'm the superior. You think about it, and then in real life, when you come across the situations like for the aeroplane landing, see how your mind reacts, how your mind behaves. And the mind instantly gets up and somebody cuts. You feel angry, agitated, which means that you have not passed the exam yet. You have failed the exam. Still you have to, but it's not a total failure. It's not a total failure. You are actually taking steps. You examine your mind and look how mind behaves. Instinctively, the mind will behave that I must get up. Nobody should cut me. Okay, these are the tests. And then if you say that somebody cuts it, no problem. No problem. If his bodhicitta manifests, if his Buddha nature manifests, he will not behave like this. He does not get the chance to meet with the Nalanda great master's teachings. If he gets the chance, if she gets the chance, she will perhaps teach me, or he will perhaps teach me. So this is how your ego and anger subsided and your compassion grows. Okay, this is one. Number two, what is the step number two? Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself and reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Okay. Now the key is that the key for the practice of bodhicitta is that the opposite force of bodhicitta is anyone. What's the opposite force of bodhicitta? Selfishness. You are right. Selfishness, self-centered attitude. This is the opposite factor. And keep in mind, this is so important. Finally, the bodhicitta practice, the whole bodhicitta practice rests on this pillar of reflecting on the demerits of cherishing the self and reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. This is the key. If you succeed in this practice, the rest of the steps will be easy. The rest of the steps, they're more to just fine-tune the practice of bodhicitta. Okay. So the point is that to see the demerits to see the to think of the demerits of cherishing oneself, and to see the benefit of cherishing others. Okay, for this, overall speaking, let's say that whenever you have any problem, you encounter with any problem, whether it is self-inflicted problem, self-created problem, or somebody else creating problem on you, or it is which is situation puts you into difficulty, and you feel the agitation, stress, anxiety. When these things happen, just keep in mind that this is a resultant state of the experience that I'm going through, and these experiences are the results which should necessarily come into being by their respective causes. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. And these causes cannot be different. These causes are not created by somebody else. It's my own creation of the past. If I don't study well, I fail. Not that I don't study well, somebody else fails. No. Somebody else did not study well, and then I fail. No. If you fail, it's because of your not studying well in the past. So your cause, the cause which you did, is responsible for your own miseries. So what kind of causes? In these causes, there are two primary causes which are responsible for all forms of problems we go through. The two causes, one is self-grasping ignorance, and the other one is self-centered attitude too. Now, self-grasping ignorance is purely cognitive in nature. Self-grasping ignorance is purely cognitive in nature, and self-centered attitude is affective in nature. So now here, the practice of Bodhicitta focuses on how to modify, how to train this affective mind from selfishness, being selfish, to Bodhicitta. So this is what we are training. So for that, the opposite force must be curtailed, must be mitigated. The part of which must be mitigated, opposite force, which is the self-centered attitude. So we see that, keep this in mind. Say that somebody shoots an arrow to you. Would you be angry towards who you're going to be angry towards? That person who shot the arrow. How many agree with the Arvind Resents? The person who shot the arrow, this is number one. And who else? Who are angry towards who else? Slowly. Say it again. People who made the arrow. So this is all one part. People who made the arrow, who shot, this is all in one category. So who else? Number two, anyone? Yes. Say, somebody shoots an arrow, you have the pain, so you'll be angry towards who?
Arrow.
Arrow is very neutral, poor arrow, it's very neutral, right? Okay, very.
Я, скорее всего, подумаю о том, что в прошлом что-то я сделала не так, раз сейчас в меня прилетела стрела. Возможно, я в кого-то стреляла.
Ramila, your student is not listening to you too well. Your student is not serving you well. Arman, actually he should be with you, running here and there and fixing the mic, right? He's chilling out. Okay.
Venerable Geshe, I will think about my past. I will think what I might have done in the past. For example, maybe in the past I was the shooter who shoot an arrow to other person, and right now I'm experiencing the situation when somebody else shoot arrow at me.
That's good, very smart. So this is the example and the main meaning behind this example put together. Thank you. With the example, with a pure example, who are you going to be angry with? The one who shot the arrow plus? Okay, let me say. Okay, Yulia.
Гешела, когда прилетит стрела в мое тело, мне кажется, не будет времени злиться на кого-то, нужно будет вытаскивать стрелу.
Venerable Geshe-la, when arrow shoot inside my body, I will have no time to think because I will be needing to take an arrow out.
That's true. I'm not telling you when you are shot at that point who are you going to agree with. This is not my question. Question: you are shot, you're already hospitalized, you did not get time to think, you're already hospitalized, and you become unconscious, you cannot think. And you are taken to hospital, you are recovered, and then you think about who shot the arrow, right? At that point. Okay. Over there, Tara. Okay, I'll be so happy if somebody can give the answer that is in my mind.
So I'll be angry to the person who shot the arrow and the person or the mind who told the person to shoot the arrow.
Okay, the person who shot the arrow, who instructed the person who shot the arrow, who created the arrow, all these go into one camp. Okay. Okay. Joshua.
Maybe I'm angry at myself for being angry at all.
Angry towards myself, why?
Because I'm being angry at all.
Being?
Angry at all.
So you are angry for being angry?
Yes.
So what about the arrow?
I mean, I could just meditate on the pain.
Anger anytime, not necessarily wait for the arrow. With the arrow. Okay, quick. Gabor, just speak. Why? To some extent, yes. Okay, Nastya. Okay, Nastya, mic. Russian speaking, you have to have the mic, because...
А какой смысл в том, чтобы злиться в такой момент? Нужно или пытаться спрятаться, или пытаться защититься, или атаковать противника, там уже по ситуации.
Venerable Geshe-la, why do I need to get angry at first place? Because in such situation I need to react. I need to either attack the shooter, or I need to run away, or I need to do something.
No,
there is no room for getting angriness.
No, you're already unconscious. You have no time to attack him. You're already unconscious. You are hospitalized. You are getting it? I'm talking about after hospitalized, after discharge from hospital. After discharge from hospital, the shooter already ran away. Right? You cannot chase him. Okay, let's make it real quick. Okay, we don't have much time. We have two methods to cover. Okay, here, let's say, of course, the shooter, you'll be angry with the shooter, number one. Number two, that why you should worry about angry about the shooter if you have armor. If you have the armor, the arrow will hit you and the arrow drops. No problem. The fact that you don't have the armor, or you put on the armor and somebody remove the armor. The person who shot the arrow plus somebody who removed the armor, these two you'll be very angry towards. Okay, now this is a metaphor. The real reference of this is who shot the arrow, number one, and who removed your armor, two. So who shot the arrow? Self-centered attitude, as Valerie said. These arrows, how many arrows are there? The millions of arrows flying in the air coming to hit us, and we don't see them. The millions of arrows, right? There are millions of arrows flying, and some of them hit us already in the past, and some are still hitting us, some are on the verge to hit us. Anytime we can meet with accidents. These are the arrows hitting us. So the one who shot the arrow, that was a self-centered attitude. And next, who removed the armor? If you have the other cherished mind, if you have the Bodhicitta, if you have the armor of Bodhicitta, if the armor of the wisdom of emptiness, arrow will hit and will drop. It will not affect you at all. Who removed this armor of Bodhicitta? Who removed? Selfishness. Who removed the armor of the wisdom of emptiness? Self-grasping ignorance. So these two shot the arrow and these two removed the armor. So look, initial cause, the trigger of this pain was the one who shot the arrow, a self-centered attitude there. Then when the arrow hits you, again you feel the pain because the armor is removed by the self-centered. This self-centered is so vicious. It was first of all setting the arrow, shooting the arrow from past. Arrow of the karma, negative karma's arrows are shot. All the millions of arrows are coming in the air. For example, like the missiles hitting the helicopters, hitting the aeroplanes, the missiles, they are in the air. So likewise, the self-centered attitude is the one who shot the arrow, and now when on the verge to hit it, yes, so now these arrows, you cannot really stop them. They're already in the air, flying towards you. But you can put the armor on. If you're the armor, they cannot affect you. But the armor is removed by the self-centered attitude. From thinking of that, we see that, in fact, if you have the armor of Bodhicitta, nobody can make you agitated. Nobody can make you depressed if you have the armor of Bodhicitta. But when armor Bodhicitta is removed by this self-centered attitude, you become so vulnerable to any arrow that can hit you, and you feel the pain, acute pain. So contemplate more on this. Look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Look at His Holiness. What can easily trigger agitation in us will not agitate him, because he put on the armor of compassion, armor of the wisdom of emptiness. He's not affected. Whereas us easily affected. Let's say, for example, where did you come from? If somebody asks you, where do you come from? People can receive the same sentence in different forms. Some says, thank you, I came from Delhi, thank you. And somebody say, why? Why are you asking this question? Why? I don't know you. Why? Are you a spy? Right? Do I have to tell you where I came from? Right? How are you doing? You're fine. Why? Are you my doctor? Right? And the other Guru said that, thank you, I'm well, how are you? Look, it's the same sentence received differently. What made you feel like, why? Are you my doctor? Right? This is selfishness there. This selfishness there. You getting it? So the point is that all our problems, somehow, these are the results of negative karma. And these negative karmas, they are initially, these are the arrows of negative karmas shot by the self-centered attitude in the beginning. Is so vicious. So anger towards self-centered attitude. Then when it hits you, the armor of Bodhicitta is removed by the selfishness. Again, with the resultant state, you are made to experience the result, again by the self-centered attitude. Think about this. Initially, it hit the arrow. In the end, when I experience it, again, the armor is removed. I was made vulnerable to receive the pain of the arrows because of self-centered attitude. You think more about this, you become really angry to self-centered attitude. As long as the self-centered attitude is not removed, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how young you are, no matter how physically healthy you are gullible to all the miseries, all the pains. You are vulnerable to all the pains. The self-centered attitude is the one which is my real enemy. So there, the more you contemplate on this, then you feel like running away from this enemy, When you know somebody is really nasty towards you, what do you do? You try to run away from that person. You agree? Yes. So you want to run away from this self-centered attitude. How to run away from self-centered attitude? Anyone? Anka. Your name? Anka, yes. How to run away from self-centered attitude? Anyone? How to run away from self-centered attitude? Anka.
To be equal with the other person.
Yes. To practice the equalizing self and others. Anyone else? How to run away from self-centered attitude? Anyone? No, already reflected. Now you feel very angry. Now you want to run away from self-centered. What should you do? Leon.
Start cherishing others.
Self-cherishing others.
Start cherishing others.
Start cherishing others. Beautiful. You getting it? Say that there are two persons. One truly loves you, and the one comes on the facade of loving you, come to discover that that person is so nasty. So what you'll do, you go towards the person A, that you are protected from person B. Likewise, self-centered attitude, to remove this, you have to apply the antidote. Antidote is the cherishing others. Then cherishing others is not for others. For you to run away from self-cherishing. Why do you have to run away from self-cherishing? Run away from the one which removes the armor. Run away from the one who is coming to remove your armor of compassion. So you run away from that. So things that practice cherishing others, this is so precious. Then you will feel the benefit and the value of cherishing others, seeing the demerit of cherishing oneself. Then with this, what happens is that, okay, listen. One time, a very good friend of mine, way younger, he must be, I think, minimum 12 years younger than me. And one time, he gave me a call and said, Geshe, I feel so much pain. I said, why? And he said that now I'm leaving my home. Of course, not leaving home temporarily, leaving his parents, leaving home to join the, say, college or university. Then I said that, you're very lucky. He said, no, Geshe, I'm feeling pain. I understand that, you're very lucky. He said, no, how am I lucky when I feel pain? Nobody wants pain. I said, you are very lucky. He said, why? Listen, this is very important. This is the time you have to see that you have the pain. Where is this pain coming from? Why this pain is coming from? Why is this pain coming? Why? Because, say, I'm leaving my parents or I'm leaving my family. People leave from the family. Some people are very happy. Oh, I'm leaving my family and going to my studies. My parents will be very proud of me when I go to study. My parents will be proud. There's a joy. And for some people leaving, there's a pain. Why? It's not leaving the family per se. It's not the reason. If this is the reason, everybody should be feeling painful. But for some, there's a joy. Oh, now I'm going on a mission to make my parents proud of me, to be of service to my community, and so forth. Whereas in some people there's a pain. Why? So then you have to think of the third factor. The third factor is that there is an element known as selfishness, self-centered attitude. And this is why, and you identify this feeling that because of my selfishness, that the pain is coming in me when I leave the home. This is what many past meditators, Dharma practitioners, they deliberately leave home. They deliberately go to the solitude in the Himalayas to meditate how the self-centered attitude is creating pain on me. They meditate on this, and then they deliberately try to expose themselves to extreme cold, extreme heat, and hunger and so forth to feel the pain. so that this pain is coming from the self-centered attitude. You can identify that. For they deliberately do that, and you, without doing that, you are feeling it. You are very lucky. So people have to go to Himalaya. You don't have to go to Himalaya. Just by sitting at home and living, you can feel this pain. The people who left Himalaya for Himalaya, and in the Himalaya, they said for like years and years, they will be envious of you. It's amazing. You are so lucky. Now, when you feel the pain, think of how this self-centered, if it is not there, how my pain will disappear. Think of this. Think of this and think of the counter, that this pain, therefore, is coming from the self-centered attitude. You think more, and more. Gradually, you will reach to a point whereby somebody accuses you, somebody insults you, or say anything wrong happens to you, and the pain comes. Then instantly the blame of the pain is going to you. You insulted me, you criticized me. Instead of that, if the blame automatically goes to my, again look, my self-centered attitude is acting on me. You getting it? Again look, my self-centered attitude is acting on me, and it is making me vulnerable to feel the pain. I'm so glad that I'm discovering this demon now. Right? If you identify this demon, then you can exterminate this. If you don't identify this, if it is hiding, what do? It continues to create problem. I feel so glad. So, through some practice, gradually, it'll take time. Gradually, when problems happen to you, when pains happen to you, the blame spontaneously, it goes to the self-centered attitude, not to the other person, not to the situation. It blames spontaneously. Don't let the blame go to the self. If the blame goes to self, it's very destructive. It can take you into depression. Whereas the blame should go to the self-centered attitude, not to the self. The blame should go to self-centered attitude. There's nothing wrong with you. The evildoer is the self-centered attitude, not you. Because you remove the self-centered attitude, you will become a Buddha. You will become the savior of the whole world. You are very precious. But self-centered attitude, it is not at all precious. It only contributes to your miseries. So if the blame goes, it's very funny. When you feel the pain, spontaneously the blame goes to this self-centered attitude. Again, look, self-centered attitude act on me. When you feel that, instantly this pain will disappear. It's very funny. Pain will disappear and you feel the lightness. When the pain is there, somewhere at the core, happiness comes. How many had that experience? Your hands? From the core, this heaviness is just pulling you down. Raise hands. How many had that experience? Okay, Shaheen, no experience? Yes, right? Okay, so these pains, believe it or not, if you succeed in this practice to the extent that when these pains happen, the blame automatically, spontaneously goes to self-centered attitude. Instantly, again look, self-centered attitude is acting on me again. I'm so lucky, I'm so fortunate that I'm able to get hold of the self-centered attitude. When you say that, when you feel that, instantly this pain will become light. You feel the lightness is amazing. So this is how we need to contemplate on the demerits of cherishing oneself and the merits of cherishing others. You getting it? And look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He is forever happy, all because of cherishing others. Merit for cherishing others. You cherish others, you are a happy person. Generally, what I say is that in a family, if the child is so loving, caring, loving and caring to the parents, this child will automatically have a very happy life. The life will be very happy. For small reasons, if a conflict with your parents, for small reasons. It's not that all conflicts between the parents and children, all conflicts is a mistake of the children. No. 80% is the mistake of the children. 80% situations, 80% cases, 80% cases is the mistake of the children. You may be able to justify. There's no justification. There's no justification. Why no justification? This will come in the next method, the sevenfold cause method. I'll share this with you. Then you will realize it's not a mistake. Is the only thing is that your parents have been so loving and caring that you took for granted their love and affection. They took for granted, you took for granted the love and affection of parents. Whereas there are cases, 20% of the cases can be administered to parents. Because the parents themselves, when they were young, they did not get the opportunity to receive love and affection from others. They don't know how to express this love and affection. So therefore, they do not know how to handle you as a child. Only maximum 20% of the cases. Whereas 80% cases is a mistake of the children. Not deliberate attempt, unknowingly or having taken for granted the parents' love and affection. That will come later. Okay. So this one thing. Next thing I like to share with you is that with respect to the practice of the 6 perfections. Finally, we have to go from the place of suffering to the ultimate happiness. What is this journey? Where is this journey taught? The place of suffering to the place of ultimate happiness. Where is this journey taught? Journey taught in Heart Sutra and all the teachings. Gate, gate. You get it? Journey means go. Don't stay. Go. Gate, gate. Go, go. Paragate. Go beyond. Parasangade. Go utterly beyond. Bodhisvaha. Establish your full awakening of the happiness. This is journey. So for this journey, it is not just bodhicitta, emptiness. For example, say, oh, I have to sustain myself, I have to eat food. What should I eat food? What food? Rice, right? Rice or rice and dal. And then you buy rice, you buy dal. Dal means lentil. Rice and dal. And you cook rice, you cook dal. Right? Okay. Where's the salt? Where's the masala? Where's the oil? Where's the onion? Some people, they eat onion free. That's good. Right? Where are all these things? They're all missing. But you said rice and dal. I brought rice and dal. These are the main, but the other ingredients intact. Bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, these are the main, the other ingredients required. Like what? 6 perfections. 10 perfections are required. Okay, so now the practice of reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself and reflecting on the benefit of cherishing others. So these two in the context of the 6 perfections. 6 perfections. Okay, so what are the 6 perfections? What are the 6 perfections? Yes, Bandela.
Generosity, ethical discipline, patience, joy effort, concentration or meditation, and wisdom.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Generosity or giving. Generosity or giving, number 1. Number 2, ethical discipline or morality. Number 3, patience. Number 4, joyous effort or enthusiasm. Number 5, meditative concentration. Number 6, the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, let's work on 6 perfections. And then think about the demerits of cherishing oneself and the merits of reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Okay, the 6 perfections. 6 perfections, the results that we seek, the good things that we seek, these are the results of 6 perfections. And the bad things which we shun, these are the results of the opposite of the 6 perfections. You getting it? Okay, so each of these perfections, what we need to do is that we need to think of the triangle. Each of these should be thought of in a triangle. Say, for example, generosity. Say the act of generosity, and the benefit, the result, and what made you to act with generosity. The motivation. So these 3 things. Let's say, I want wealth. I don't want to suffer poverty. I want wealth. So lack of poverty, wealth is the result of generosity. And what made you to act generously? That is by the other cherished mind. So triangle. Result that you seek of the wealth, no poverty, because of the act of generosity. And this act of generosity is possible because of the other cherished mind. So this other cherished mind brings the wealth that you want. Say, for example, people end up into corruption to get wealth. Actually, they are engaging in the wrong means to get the wealth. But the real way by which to get the wealth is the act of generosity. Act of generosity. And act of generosity happens only through compassion. Only if you have a feeling of compassion with others, then the generosity will happen. Otherwise, it will not happen. So, the wealth that we see is because of the act of compassion, other cherishing. Okay. Likewise, say first let us work on the 6 perfections. What are 6 perfections? And then we'll work on this. So first, the generosity. Generosity happens with the act of giving, is out of compassion. Ethical discipline. Ethical discipline is refraining from negativities. This is discipline. Refrain from negativities. And particularly negativities involving harming others, particularly. And then alongside attachment. Attachment, when you fail to get what you attach to, then it changes into harming others. So, the harming others, again, harming others, why? How? Because of not being compassionate towards others. Opposite of harming others is discipline. Or I should not harm others. Why I should not harm others? Others also don't want suffering. I should have a sense of concern for others. So again, look, so because of the compassion, generosity happens. Because of compassion, act of refraining from harming others, ethical discipline, refraining from harming others happens. Then they say the patience. They say when you lose the patience, it is not happening as per what I want, right? It should happen with this time. Around this time, it's not happening. It should happen like this. It shouldn't be happening. So you lose your patience. That's again out of selfishness. You getting it? So practice of patience comes when such concern and affection is there. Okay. So sense of concern gives rise to the act of generosity, act of ethical discipline, act of patience, and act of joyous effort. Effort to help others. Effort to help others comes only with sense of compassion for others. Then the meditative concentration. Meditative concentration with a sense of anger, harming others, your mind is very disturbed. When the mind is disturbed, you cannot meditate. Meditation is possible by the disturbed state of mind. So how to counter the what creates disturbed state of mind? Selfishness, anger, ego. And how to curb them, how to mitigate them by into counterforce, which is the loving kindness, compassion. So compassion makes your meditative concentration very easy to grow. And then the underscoring anger and ego, opposite of compassion. Underscoring ego, not ego, right? E-G-O, I-G-O-R. This is Igor, I-G-O-R. Okay, ego, E-G-O. With the ego and anger, what underscores these two is self-grasping ignorance. What underscores the ego and the the anger is the self-grasping ignorance. So, when you mitigate the power of the anger, self-grasping ignorance, its function becomes like non-functional, meaning that the self-grasping ignorance gets intensified and is in full action when anger and ego they're manifested. So when these things are not happening, when you mitigate the power of the ego and the anger, then self-grasping ignorance also, although it is operating, but it does not serve the purpose of triggering the very intense emotions. So therefore, when that happens, then you can identify self-grasping ignorance more easily. Then the wisdom of emptiness more easy to grow within you. So with the compassion, again the wisdom of emptiness grows. For example, some ladies, they say that they're already in their 30s or 40s. They said, now I start learning science. I said, why? why do I learn the science of, I started to learn the science of school science. School science meaning fifth grade, 8th grade, which means age 10, 11, 12. Why are we learning all these things? To teach my child. So why to teach a child? Out of love. Out of love, it makes you to study. It makes you to activate your brain, activate your intelligence, activate your wisdom. You're getting it? So the compassion again makes you grow in your knowledge, in your wisdom. So we see that all these things these 6 perfections, they arise. When you have the compassion, this gives rise to all these 6 perfections to happen. Where these 6 perfections happen, you get all the 6 intended results. For example, we need, the generosity. Generosity, the result is wealth. Ethical discipline, the result is favorable births. Favorable births. Then the patience, the radiance. Some people, I remember my teacher, one of my teachers, Venerable Gaya. You met Gaya? Never. Okay. Gaya, he was a hermit. He passed away many years ago. He was a hermit. Very simple hermit, extremely compassionate. Often my friends, they said that, who is this teacher? Right? They see him from in the crowd. They see him, who is this teacher? Who is this monk? I said, why? I do not say that he's my teacher. I said, why? He looks standing out from this crowd. There's a radiance there. So this radiance is the result of patience. Practice of patience. What's the opposite of patience? Hey, Ishomala. What's the opposite of patience? Sonomo. Huh? Oh, wow, Sonomo is smart. What's the opposite of patience? Impatience. Lamale, what's the opposite of patience? Huh? Okay, anyone? What's the opposite of patience? Yes, Daria. Okay, Shaheen. Restlessness. And the Natalie. Yes. Restlessness. Oh, why not? Why not? This anger thing you're going to get. So, anger is the basic framework, basic fabric of the restlessness. Restlessness is one of the attributes of impatience. So underscoring all this is the anger. Okay. So say with the anger, the same person you won't believe. The same person but not angry. You look at the face, very calm and appealing. But when the person gives a genuine smile, the diplomatic smile and genuine smile, there's difference. Diplomatic smile, it will not make your face beautiful. This genuine smile is so beautiful. Anyone with a genuine smile is so beautiful. There's something beautiful there. And this smile is coming from the genuineness inside. Opposite of which is anger. It steals away the smiles. And when the person, otherwise very nice looking, handsome, beautiful, whatever, when the rage of anger, you see, you just don't like to look at the person, you want to run away. You're getting it? So anger destroys your radiance, the glow. Anger destroys your glow, Anger destroys your glow. So, the patience brings a glow in you. Practice of patience brings glow. Then next is, what is next? Patience. Joyous effort or enthusiasm. That enthusiasm gives rise to elegance. Elegance and the richness of the elegance. Because joyous effort is where you are so happy to do virtues. You are very rich in virtue. Rich. So there's rich in the elegance. With the virtue, you say, for example, somebody compassionate, there's glow there. Somebody's very generous, there's glow there. Somebody who has confidence, there's glow there. So joyous effort meaning there's joy in engaging virtues. When there's joy, you want to do any virtue. You become so rich in virtue. Rich in virtue is reflected on your face as elegance, richness of the elegance. This is, you can see that on His Holiness's face. You can see that. Anybody who is otherwise very dominant, popular celebrity, when it comes to His Holiness, in front of His Holiness, the person will talk to His Holiness for a few seconds, few minutes. The person will surrender. The person will lose the radiance. In the face of His Holiness's radiance, the person will lose the charm. You getting it? This is amazing. I was awestruck by some of the interviews that I saw online, or not online, the YouTube interview with His Holiness. Some people, very prominent people, otherwise very prominent, when they meet with His Holiness, when He will say something, they become small children. It's like a small child is sitting with a Vice Chancellor. That's amazing. What is that power? I did not understand it. So therefore, I heard something, I do not know whether it's true or not. I heard that deliberately CCP, Communist Chinese leaders, they said that don't meet Dalai Lama. If you meet, your mind will change. If you meet him, your mind will change. This is because of the richness of his elegance, richness of his virtues. There's authority there. Okay, so that is the joyous effort. What is next? With the meditation, your mind becomes calm. The calmness is what we seek. It's because of meditative concentration. What's the wisdom? What's next? Wisdom. What's the effect of this wisdom? Wisdom will liberate you from samsara, will free you from having to shed tears anymore, will stop you from all the tears in the future. So that is. And what do you want? You want wealth or you want poverty? Well, that's because of the generosity. You want favorable birth or you want unfavorable birth? Favorable birth, that's because of the ethical discipline. You want glow or no glow? Rishi? Huh? I don't say glow. Glow? Oh, Rishi is coming. There's a glow there. Right? Wow, that's amazing. This young man, so smart, intelligent, right? Talking neuroscience, right? And beautiful English. Right? Wow, there's a glow there, right? So you want that glow or no glow? Glow, right? So glow. So glow is the result of patience. Be patient to your mom. You getting it? Be patient to your mom. Are you patient? You are very patient. You are very gentle. I can see that. Everybody sees that. Yeah. Okay. Next is the glow and the richness. The richness in elegance. These two are different. These two are not the same. The glow and the richness in the elegance. Richness of the elegance, there's a gravity there. You could feel the person's gravity. You getting it? So that is because of the practice of enthusiasm. You want, okay, let Master Lady hear your name. Yulia, tell me, you want the elegance or no elegance?
Geshe-la, я хочу иметь элегантность.
She says she wants to have it.
Yes, elegance. You getting it? So elegance is a result of Result of joyous effort, enthusiasm, finding joy in doing any virtue. Non-virtue? Oh no. Non-virtue, we stay away. Virtue, feel joy in doing the virtues. And you want peace or mental disturbance? Peace or mental disturbance? Peace. Peace comes from meditative concentration. And you want liberation from samsara? You want to stop the tears completely? Or you once in a while, tears beautiful. Tears are beautiful. Tears of sadness, agitation. What should I do? I want to leave everything and go somewhere, right? You want the tears or you don't want the tears? No? The girl over there next to Thomas, what's your name? Too nasty. Okay, Nasty, you tell me, the tears or no tears?
I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
You don't want to cry.
I
If you don't want to cry, for 1 year or all the way down?
all my life,
Whole my life, 1 life, 2 lives.
next life, and next, and
Next. You are smart, thank you. All right, eternally. I don't want the tears, enough now. I don't want to have tears anymore. Right? So that, if you don't want the tears anymore, wisdom of emptiness. Wisdom of emptiness. So with this in mind, we see these are the 6 results that we want, and these 6 results come into action, come into us with the practice of 6 perfections. And these 6 perfections, you have to engage in this practice. If you don't engage in this practice, these 6 results remain a dream, will never become real. So if you want to make these 6 perfections happen, the ground is compassion. Where compassion is there, generosity happens. Where compassion is there, refraining from harming others will happen. Where compassion is there, patience will build up. Mothers are extremely patient, generally, not all mothers. Generally, the mothers are very patient. And particularly, I don't know, this boy is already extremely gentle and nice. So I don't know whether the mother has to be patient or not patient. Even the mother is not patient, is fine, because this boy is so gentle. The mother does not have to be patient. Patient means the boy is mischievous and the mother is patient. But he's not mischievous at all. He's so gentle, right? Okay, so your mother is not getting opportunity to practice patience. For this boy, he is amazingly gentle. Arman and Rishi both. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the patience, when the compassion is there, patience happens. When the compassion is missing, some institutions, the directors, head of the institutions, they are so impatient. Some so impatient. When I was little, I noticed that. When I was little, I must be age 7, 8, 9. In school, there was a school headmaster, extremely impatient. As a little boy, I was wondering. One day he got married. Now his son or his daughter is finished, dead. This totally impatient. When the child was born, I came to learn after a few years, that this child is overly pampered. What happened? The father was extremely patient with the child. How come? I couldn't believe this man is patient. It was the child. Yes, whatever the child does, no issue. No problem. So patient. Why? All later on, all because of the love towards the child. He does not love other children. He does only his child. So therefore there's tremendous patience with his child, but with others, totally impatient. So patience comes because of love and affection. Patience. Then joyous effort. When the mothers love their children, so whatever to do for the child, the mother is so much there's joy in doing things for the child, joyous effort out of compassion, out of love. Then the next, meditative concentration. Where your compassion is there, then your mind is calm. With the calm, you practice samadhi, meditation will grow in you very fast. wisdom of emptiness, to liberate from samsara completely. For that, say, ego and these things will reinforce self-centered, self-grasping ignorance. When with compassion, the counterforce, ego, anger, this will come down, and you can easily identify the self-centered attitude very easily. You can eradicate it. So all these amazing things are the results of these six perfections. Six perfections possible with the practice of compassion. So this is, what is compassion? So therefore, say, practice of compassion, cherishing others. Cherishing others is for my own benefit. And cherishing myself. Cherishing myself is the source of all the evil things, unwanted results. Self-centered attitude is the evil factor which attracts all these undesirable results. Think of the six perfections. Opposite of the six perfections will give rise to the undesired results, and all triggered by the selfishness. And think of the six perfections giving rise to the six desirable results, and all triggered by the other cherishing. So this is how we can think about the merits of cherishing others and the merits of cherishing oneself. Okay, we'll stop here. Devata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata. Okay, three processions together.